Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking.
Huh? Holding back?
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the...
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay. That's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modeste's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli, for instance, legend has it that the original Gâteau de Bourg, so rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original hotel, especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius. And
Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex, the Hotel de Bourg took its rightful place as the finest restaurant in the land, serving those...
What? No, of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving... Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli... And that was it. The end of the Hotel de Bourg. Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then?
Yes, well, that's fiction, and...
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bourg they sell now is actually Escoffier's reimagination.
Wait, really? Why, though? Didn't that recipe...
It did, but like I said, it's a dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modeste wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling 6...
Oh! Huh.
Hey now, it might not be the original Gâteau de Bourg, but it's still... Just think, if the original truly was the perfect cake you're
Anyway, before I left my role as head chef...
So why could it be a symbolic thing? Like, whoever holds...
Well, it was clearly precious enough to give to Escoffier as a parting gift. Meanwhile, maybe from her point of view, it's like management doesn't truly see her as being worth...
You think so? The only thing is, it was her suggestion to gift me the original in the first place. Well, a joint decision.
What? Huh. Good?
Who knows? We could speculate it means vesting her in this bake-off. And then, however much she's changed since we worked together, I believe that she still has her chef's pride. And
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Froment.
let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de Bourg is very complicated to make. Usually, it takes 3 chefs working in tandem to cover everything. Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do the work of 3 chefs myself. But I'd prefer to play it safe if I can find a couple of...
Well, that's easy. The 3 of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick 2 of us.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an accomplished cook, as well as a warrior. But be warned, I will hold you to exceptionally high standards.
Oh, count me in too. I've spent weeks perfecting my macarons after... Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's start with some elementary mise en place.
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your case is that mise en place is chopping stuff up without... Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward. I'll be using this cold press to extract flavor compound, a kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses, this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. Let me give you...
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Paimon's never used anything this weird before. Cool! Not weird.
No recipe, no problem! The device isn't cold enough yet. I need to reduce the temperature. Yeah! Yeah! And done! These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients. I processed all the fruit you chopped up earlier.
Wow! Even the smell is so much more concentrated. What next? Do we add all this stuff in?
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slow. I'll demonstrate again. Now.
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
Slowly and carefully. Not. That didn't count. I was experimenting. And voila! Now it's your turn. Not terrible, considering this was everyone's first, but the traveler's work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? You got almost perfect results on your first try. Oh, well, they do say adventurers are multi-talented folks. Now I've seen it firsthand. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel de Boer's current menu. That's right. The true test of your cooking skills is the finished product.
I really need those parts. It's taking him so.
How's it going? Have you picked a dish yet? Choose wisely. I expect you to present the most Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose, as I like to say. Now, let the grating commence.
Pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything, but Paimon's a bit of a connoisseur.
6 points.
What? Oh, well, fair enough. Paimon doesn't cook all that often.
That's 6 out of 100.
What?
You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day would make you an opera singer.
Aww.
Me next, me next! I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has 2 whole tablespoons less sugar than my previous ones.
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it tastes like you just threw in whatever was left in the jar. 6 points.
Aw.
Now to the final dish.
So,
This is our last hope.
8 points.
darn. That's barely higher than what we got.
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points out of 10.
Huh? How did you pull that off?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills in the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish. The traveler's journey, with all its trials, tribulations, and setbacks. Not to mention the frustrations of having a picky eater for a partner.
Hey, you made that last part up! No way did you taste that!
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square. I guess you'll be taking the Traveler as one of your assistants then?
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining. Maybe Paimon and Navia should keep practicing and see how it goes?
Chef Escoffier!
Oh, it's Hilaire! What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest. You're doing gâteau de...
And you think you're up to the task?
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, thank you all so much for everything. I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me, I'd like to help you.
Yeah, I was gonna say...
Don't you worry. The fact is, I'm a fine chef.
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving home?
I have not, but Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I can't seem to grip my knife.
Do it again! Again! Again!
I...
Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen yesterday.
Dad! What's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then I...
Dad, talk to me.
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get here?
Probably because you were all concentrating so hard on your cooking. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. But anyway, Firma, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how serious your situation was, I would have stood up for you.